Hello and welcome to another English with Joseph from here in Barcelona. Well, as you know, over the last while, we've been talking about numerous parts of English grammar. We spoke about business English. I think the last video clip I did, we were also talking about adverbs. So today, I would like to continue that and talk a little bit more about some of the more basic pieces of grammar. Well, I think last month or the month before I made a clip on the conditional tenses. So just to remind you what those conditional tenses are, there's 5 of them in total. You have the zero conditional and then 4 others. The conditional tense is used to talk about things, of course, which aren't real, but also about things which are always real. The zero conditional, if you can imagine, is formed with the present tense and the present tense, such as when people go to work, they are happy, or maybe not, but you can hear it's when people go and they are, so it's present and present. The first conditional, again you have the present. For example, if I go to work late, I will be in trouble. So the first part's present, the second part is future. And then you have the next part, which is something very, very similar. You have the second conditional, and you use the past tense, and then the conditional, which is would. So if I went to work late, I would be in trouble, but of course it's not true, so I'm not. It's hypothetical. And the next one, if I had gone to work late, I would have been in trouble. And just jumping back for a moment, we said that the last one was the past tense and the conditional. So this next one is the past perfect and then the present perfect conditional, which is would have jumped, would have gone, or indeed would have been jumping or doing. It's a present perfect with the word would, basically. Okay, so if I had gone to work late, I would have been in trouble. I would have been in trouble. Okay, so the next one, and the final one, is the mixed conditional. Now that last one we just spoke about, which is the third conditional, even though it's the fourth one, because remember we started at 0. That last one is to talk about things about the past, or what a result would have been. Okay, but how do we talk about things which are happening now? So for example, if I had gone to work late, I would be in trouble. Or if I had lost my keys, I would be locked out of my house. Now that last one there, it's actually called the mixed conditional, and it's the fifth one, because you take the first part of the type 3 and you put it on to the end part of type 2 in order to create a scenario of how the past would affect the future. If we had looked at the map last night, we wouldn't be lost now, because we are lost now, you see. So the difference between type 3 and type 4, which is the fourth and fifth conditional, is that one is about the past, would have been, and one is would be. Okay, sometimes followed by now to show the state of the thing now. We wouldn't be lost now, for example. would not be, which is the end part of the second conditional. Okay, so it sounds a bit complex, but actually it's not. The others are very easy, but the last two, one is simply talking about a past scenario. If I had gone to work late, I would have been in trouble. If you compare that to if I had gone to work late, I would be in trouble now or in the future. So one is talking about the past and one is talking about the now. Oh, I'll make sure I don't get killed here. Ah, there we are. The Green Man, faithful as ever. Did you know that in Spanish he's not called the Green Man? I think for the first few months here I was calling him Hombre Verde, which is Green Man. But apparently that's not what they call him. I can't remember what they do call him, but it's not that. Okay, as you can see, I'm in Avinga, Madrid, the home of many, many, many Chinese coffee shops, as they all are. I'm just crossing the road here, going to have some morning coffee. So that's a very brief introduction to the English conditional tenses, and I hope that that helps a little bit. I'm not really in favour of learning English by studying grammar. The best way to study English is to speak it, and I would encourage you, if you're not speaking English at the moment, rather than pick up a grammar table to study the conditional tenses, it would be much better. Oh, pet wash. That's where you can get your dog washed. How interesting. Pet wash. Oh. Yeah, they have a machine in there where you can wash your cat and your dog. Anyway, yeah, I think the best thing to do is speak always, and let it come by using it. Because you try to learn something academically, then you don't use it, then you forget it. And that is not the way to do things. The way to learn English is by speaking. That's what you did as a child, and that is what you have to do as an adult. As a teacher, I get lots and lots of questions about, oh, how can I learn English? My speaking is bad. Why is that? Well, it's quite simple. It's because you haven't spoken enough, or you've learned English from a book. So naturally your speaking ability is going to be bad. You know all the rules, but you don't know how to use them. You know? It's a bit like getting in a car, and then even though you've passed the theory part of your driving test, you know what all the signs mean. You look around and you think, oh, which one is the accelerator? Which one is the brake? And how do I use this thing? Because you know the rules, but you don't know how to use it. It's classic, it really is. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. If you have been spending a lot of time up until now with books, it's time to put the books away, and it's time to make some friends. You can book a lesson with a teacher just by talking. You know, you can arrange for a conversation class. That's what we're here for. But in this society that we're living in, unfortunately, people don't like to mix very much. It's such a pity that you have to pay for someone to talk to you, isn't it? I think that's very sad, but that's where we're at. Okay, well, that's really all I wanted to say. I'm not going to go into my moral, I'm not going to give you my moral opinion, or to use an idiom, my moral high horse. You know, it's an idiom in English. Whenever we try to say we're right about something, or opinion is right, we say, oh, I'm getting on my high horse. My high horse. Okay, that's all I want to say. So, I wish you a very good day, and until next time, this is English with Joseph. Goodbye.